Superman versus Goku. An endless debate within the Dragon Ball fandom for the power scalers. The two historic giants of comics, one from the west and one from the east. There's a lot more excitement and potential coming from the clashing of these two titans than the end to a power scaling debate though, and I want to explore it. What would be in store for us if Shueisha and DC decided to create a crossover between the world of Superman and Dragon Ball? So Superman will be his current incarnation in the comics, the mainstream comics, so what is considered canon, or in the Prime Universe. And this is because I imagine Goku would be the same, right? So Goku would be the most modern manga rendition of Goku. So that would make his most recent arc the superhero arc. And crossovers have many styles. For example, some are just about the main two heroes clashing, you know, Batman versus Superman type. There are crossovers that really dive deep into the themes of the franchises and what they could mean to each other, what they represent. And then there's crossovers about getting every character to meet their equivalent of the other franchise in a very fan-servicey way. And seeing how Toriyama handles his writing in Dragon Ball, and of course, whenever Dragon Ball crossed over with another franchise, for example, Dragon Ball's crossover with Arale, with Dr. Slump, I think he would do the last one there. I plan to go full fan service with this crossover, get every major character to meet other major characters. So the writing of this crossover is inspired by that, and trying to get every character in here meeting who would be their equivalent in the Superman franchise or the Dragon Ball franchise. So the writing for this crossover was also inspired by the recent DC Comics and Sonic crossover miniseries, and I imagine this crossover to also be kind of a miniseries as well. Before we start, please subscribe, comment what you think, comment what you would want in this video. I don't mean to say something generic, but only 1%, less than 1% of my viewers are subscribed, so I'd appreciate if you subscribe. But let's get on to the video. So as I said, for Dragon Ball, we'll set the story in between Super's current place and the end of Z. So we'll have Ultra Instinct Goku, Black Frieza, and we'll start the story of this crossover in the Dragon Ball universe with Frieza. So Frieza is talking to his assistant Berry Blue, and he reveals that in whatever mysterious planet where he found the Room of Spirit and Time he used to train to the point he unlocked Black Frieza, he also found a method of travel outside the universe. So not only that, he also found a method to travel outside the multiverse itself, away from any universe overlooked by angels or demons. So Frieza smirks at this. He found a closed-off universe with hundreds of strong warriors that he wishes to conquer and use to regrow the Frieza Force into a real threat that could take over the universe with, you know, the Dragon Team in his way. And even to fight the angels and the gods of destruction. So meanwhile, Goku's family, Vegeta's family, Krillin's family, Dr. Hedo, and Gamma 1 have all met up at Capsule Corp for a special early screening of the Clean God movie. So Clean God is a massive superhero in the Dragon Ball Super manga that Goten and Trunks are big fans of. So Goten and Trunks are hyping it up. They're exclaiming that superheroes are the absolute coolest. And Vegeta asks what makes them cool when all they do is dress up in weird costumes and do strange poses. So Gohan explains that it's their unwavering loyalty to justice and the common good that makes them cool. But Trunks dismisses that. He says it's how strong they are. That's what makes them really cool. And Vegeta kind of scoffs. He asks why Trunks doesn't just train to reach his potential. Then he'll be the strongest, and wouldn't that make him the coolest? Goku tells Vegeta to ease up on Trunks. He lives a busier life than, you know, these old guys do when they were his age. Because Trunks has to balance school life, Capsule Corp business, training, friendships, and romantic relationships. Goku and Vegeta were pretty much just fighters instead. They didn't have as much of a deep social life or as many responsibilities. Suddenly, a strange man jumps in front of the movie. The projector shines onto him. He looks short, but he wears a strange blue and red costume. He declares that his name is Superman from Penguin Village, and he is tired of all these fake heroes getting attention when he's been a hero since Clean God was in diapers. Bulma approaches him, yelling at him that he's blocking the view of the movie. Chi-Chi scolds him, telling him not to ruin her son's movie night. In that distraction, Gohan, Videl, Goten, and Trunks sneak off. They use this opportunity to change and return all as their respective Great Saiyamen. Gohan, dressed as a Great Saiyaman, accuses Superman as not being, that's right, Superman, as not being a real hero. Piccolo scoffs at this, saying this all seems like a big waste of time. Vegeta agrees, and just as they begin to leave, Whis and Beerus float down, appearing out of nowhere. Beerus tells them to knock off the nonsense, as Whis has been made aware of a strange connection made to their universe. Whis says he will send all the warriors here to investigate. From his crystal ball, he sees that it seems to be a world full of heroes. Goku gets excited, and so does the rest of the Dragon team, at the concept of getting to visit a planet full of heroes. Superman tries to sneak off in fear, seeing these powerful figures, but ends up being teleported to this other universe along with the rest of the main cast. So of course, they teleport, and Whis welcomes them all to Metropolis. So the Great Saiyaman begins to plan, saying they should split up and search for clues in the city first. Bulma just looks around and says this place reminds her of West City. And now let's cut to the Superman cast. So Clark Kent, Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen are in the Daily Planet. And there they're visited by Kara Danvers and Lana Lang. They get reports of Power Girl fighting off an alien invasion in Metropolis. They all look to each other and run off to suit up into their superhero personas. Supergirl carries Jimmy and tells him he better get some good pictures of them kicking alien butt. As they fly, those with super hearing say they hear different powerful metahumans flying as well. They all decide to separate, investigating the different new metahumans as Clark and Lois head for Power Girl. So at this point, Lois is actually Superwoman, as she is right now in the comics. So she is no damsel, but she is also fighting alongside Superman. Supergirl and Jimmy Olsen are the first to find metahumans. They find Android 18 and Krillin flying through space. Supergirl orders them to stop and explain who they are. Android 18 just glares at her. She looks her outfit up and down and asks who she's supposed to be, almost like she's judging the superhero outfit. Kara responds that she's Supergirl, and 18 just scoffs at this. Supergirl tells her she better not be taking her lightly, and that this planet is hers to protect. 18 gets annoyed at her attitude, even though 18 is the one showing even more attitude. She tells Krillin to go beat up the weakling Kara is carrying like a baby. She needs to put this little girl in her place. So Kara flies down to the ground, dropping off Jimmy before 18 and Krillin fly down to join them. 18 attacks Kara, and they fly into the sky to fight. Jimmy Olsen hides since he has no powers, but Krillin finds him pretty quickly. Jimmy pleads, "Don't kill me, monk kid!" Krillin laughs, saying he's not a kid, he's just short. But he could kill him if he wanted to. He says he doesn't want to fight though. He is just investigating some multiverse nonsense. Jimmy breathes a sigh of relief. Krillin and Jimmy have a kind of casual conversation as Kara and 18 fight in the skies. Both of them have history with this multiversal nonsense and are kind of more grounded at this point than someone like 18 who would be more aggressive. Elsewhere, Mr. Satan and Majin Buu babysit the babies left behind, so Pan, Marin, and Bola. But suddenly, a white dog with a cape and an orange cat with a cape speed by. They run circles around Buu and friends, chasing each other. Buu calls out to them, and he calls them friends, cute animals. The animals stop for Boo, and Satan reads their collars. He says their names are Crypto, the Super Dog, and Streaky, the Super Cat. And all the babies of Pan, Marin, and Bulla play with the Super Pets. Meanwhile, the Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, Gohan and Videl, find Lana Lang, Superman Red. They tell her she looks like a hero, and ask for her help. But before she can respond, Steel, John Henry Irons, arrives on the scene. He asks Lana who these two strangers are, and Lana says they've been looking for some kind of multiversal portal. Steel readies his hammer. He reveals that their universe has been cut off by the multiverse because of Darkseid. So the Great Saiyaman 1 and 2 have to be lying. They couldn't be from another universe. He comes to the conclusion they must be lying about who they are, so Steel decides to fight Gohan, and Lana Lang, who has powers, fights Videl. Meanwhile, Dr. Hedo and Gamma watch the Gohan fight from below. Gamma readies a blast to help Gohan take down Steel with a sneak attack. The blast from Gamma's gun is hit by another hammer, and Natasha reveals herself, the second Steel. She tells him she won't let him attack her father, so Steel fights Gamma, just under the fights between Gohan and Steel and Lana and Videl. Meanwhile, Gohan and Trunks as the Great Saiyaman X1 and X2 find Connor Kent and John Kent, Superboy and Superboy. Trunks immediately acts cocky towards them, which Connor doesn't really respect. He actually gives some sarcastic retorts to it himself. So the two cocky men size each other up, almost like they want to fight. John and Goten try to calm them down, but Trunks and Connor end up fighting. John asks Goten to just talk it out, but Goten says they should probably fight since Trunks is fighting. John sighs and asks if they can at least talk it out while they fight. Goten says deal, and so the Great Saiyaman X's fight the Superboys. Next we have Vegeta carrying Bulma as they look through Metropolis. They find a tower with a huge sign on it, a sign named LexCorp. They venture inside, where they see Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor wears a suit of armor and holds what seems to be a powerful weapon. Lex Luthor asks if they're the alien invaders he's been hearing news of. Vegeta sizes them up, asking what he's gonna do if they are. Luthor scoffs. He says he won't need to do anything, but his new project will. Suddenly, General Zod, wearing an advanced tech suit, punches Vegeta. Luthor explains that recently Zod lost his powers and it's been absorbed by Lois Lane. So Luthor offered him a mechanical suit that could repower Zod. And all Zod would have to do is fight for the good of mankind. But we know that really means fighting for whatever Lex Luthor wants. Zod agreed, and so Zod is helping Luthor fight alien invaders. Vegeta says he doesn't care about any of that. He'll fight like he always has, no matter the situation. But, as Vegeta goes to fight Zod back, Lex looks at Bulma. So Bulma, in fear, reaches into her pockets and throws out the first thing she could find, a capsule. And suddenly, from the capsule, a house grows, as they do in Dragon Ball. So in the Luthor Corp building, there's just a house in the side of it now that Bulma put to separate herself from Luthor. So the house is so big it actually pushes Luthor out of the window, and Luthor would fall if he didn't have the suit that lets him fly. So Bulma runs away, but Luthor, because he can fly, is able to catch up to Bulma. He actually questions what that technology was, and Bulma, scared, explains what capsule tech is, and what capsule core is. Luthor admits that whoever invented the capsule technology must be a genius, so Bulma explains that, actually in her universe, she's the smartest person, period. Luthor smiles, calling this fascinating. He tells Bulma she has a lot more she's capable of, even capable of overpowering aliens like Vegeta if she's really capitalized on her intelligence. And he says that, saying that he is also the smartest person in his universe. Meanwhile, we go back to Superman. So Superman flew away from Metropolis immediately, knowing he is way out of his league with all these heroes. So he tries to find Penguin Village, where he's originally from. But he doesn't understand that he's in a different universe. While the other Dragon Ball characters may be used to universal nonsense, Superman has no idea about any of this. So instead of flying to Penguin Village, he flies to China. And he floats in the air, where he's met by a Superman, Kong Kennen, the Chinese Superman. Kong asks, who is this little guy who's pretending to be Superman? But Superman says, actually, Kong is the one being a poser. He insults Kong, and he assures him that Superman is way stronger than any Superman, and Kong, is just a fake copy. Kong grows agitated at this, and punches Superman. Superman goes flying across the world, and Kong realizes he might have overdone it. Maybe Superman may not have as many powers or strengths as he pretends to have. He just got launched with one hit. So back to Metropolis, finally we have our main guy Goku, and he's with Chi-Chi. So Goku and Chi-Chi find Power Girl, and Power Girl is fighting Black Frieza. At the same time, Clark and Lois, Superman and Superwoman, fly onto the scene. Superman demands everyone fighting to stand down. Goku is impressed that Power Girl can even stand up to someone as strong as Frieza. Although, Power Girl does seem kinda hurt at this point, like they've been fighting for a while. Frieza laughs. He tells Goku that it doesn't seem like he'd want to interrupt a fair one-on-one between him and another warrior like this Power Girl. Goku says that Frieza has a point, but Frieza is someone that needs to be stopped, even if he's got to sacrifice a bit of his code in the process. Frieza glares at this and challenges them all to come at him at once. Suddenly, Frieza forced soldiers descend onto the Earth. Superwoman and Chi-Chi team up to take down their soldiers, as Goku and Superman team up to take down Black Frieza. So we'll see the other fights during this battle, and we'll see how they end. For example, Android 18 forfeits against Supergirl when she realizes she'll actually have to put in a real effort, and she doesn't think it's worth her time. And then, Krillin and Jimmy explain that they should all go help Power Girl. She's the one that they're looking for. She's the one in a battle. Meanwhile, the kids and the Super Pets, along with Boo and Satan, arrive to help Superwoman and Chi-Chi take down the Freezer soldiers. So this could have some very cute scenes of Crypto and Streaky helping Pan, Bulla, and Marin, protecting them and taking down soldiers. And of course, Boo and Mr. Saiyan will help as well. So, soon after this, Steel, his daughter, and Lana Lang, as well as Gohan, Videl, and Dr. Hedo and Gamma, also arrive. Right after that, the Great Saiyaman X's and Superboys arrive afterward as well. So it seems like all these battles have finished, and they have ended up in friendly terms with them all talking it out as they fought. So it's then when Vegeta, Bulma, Luther, and Zod arrive. Luther and Bulma warn of an even greater threat. It seems Luther has information that no one else had. It's then when Doomsday and Broly are descending onto the Earth, fighting, and it's like they just barge into the fight like a meteor. Whis shows himself, and he tells them that he brought Broly after he detected a powerful chaotic foe that could interrupt with the battle with Frieza. Superman explains that Doomsday could end the world if he isn't taken care of. Goku goes Ultra Instinct and says they need to take Frieza down now. Superman, who also turns into his new golden form that he's just unlocked in the comics. A powerful transformation, but one that isn't permanent. Gohan goes Beast and helps out Broly take out Doomsday. Zod scoffs, saying that he sees who his true target is. He goes to kill Lois Lane, to steal his powers back from her. But Vegeta steps in, turning Ultra Ego, and fights Zod. Luther actually teams up with Vegeta to stop Zod, saying that his goal is to protect humans, not kill them. While these battles happen, everyone else fights Frieza for soldiers. Frieza, seeing that he is facing a losing battle, tells his army to retreat. He is not able to beat Ultra Instinct Goku and Superman. Zod is beaten out of his armor, and he activates some sort of alien technology that teleports him away. As Frieza is about to retreat, Power Girl flies back up for revenge and grabs Frieza by his tail as he flies away. She swings him around and around and then launches him at Goku and Superman. Together, Goku and Superman land Frieza with one last punch together, side by side, sending Frieza flying out into space. All of our heroes finally relax now that the alien invaders are taken care of. That is, until Superman is tackled by a mysterious individual. It's Superman! Superman was launched by Kong and ended up on a perfect trajectory to hit Superman like a missile. Superman looks down to Superman and questions where he came from. Superman asks if he likes to fight as much as the rest of the people from his universe, looking at Goku and the rest. And so, Superman clenches his fist, ready to fight for fun. Superman gulps and puts on a false bravado. He says he knows a fake like Superman stands no chance against a real hero. So Superman decides to take on that bet and goes to fight Superman. But Goku stops Superman. He says, "It's time to stop beating around the bush. It's time for Goku to fight Superman." So Superman smiles. He says this is a good way to thank Goku for Goku helping everyone protect the Earth. And so Superman and Goku fly above Metropolis. Goku gives Superman a sensu beam, and Goku takes one of his own. There, they fight with all they have. Probably the most fan-servicey moment in this whole Imagine crossover. They both have fun, not feeling any negativity towards each other, just enjoying the fight and getting to know each other while they fight. Lois and Chi-Chi just smirk as they watch their husbands fight from the ground. Lois makes a snarky comment about how boys are being boys, and Chi-Chi agrees, saying that she admits that she loves how passionate Goku gets though. Lois says that she definitely understands, and it's almost infectious. She says, "Hey Chi-Chi, how about we do a quick spar?" But Chi-Chi says, "No flying allowed." She doesn't want to do all that. So Lois tells Chi-Chi that she's got to get Goku to teach her how to fly. It's a very romantic thing to learn how to fly with your lover. Chi-Chi says, "Oh, trust her. She knows based on what Videl and Gohan has done." But Goku doesn't have a romantic bone in his body. Lois and Chi-Chi laugh at this. So as Goku, Chi-Chi, Superman, and Lois have some fun and spar, the rest of our warriors get to know each other, until Gohan asks a question. Where did Piccolo go? He hasn't been here the whole time. It's then when we go into space, and we see Piccolo flying near Earth's upper atmosphere. He sees the Justice League Watchtower. So many high power levels. How many heroes are in this world? He questions. It's almost intimidating to see this many strong people in one place. It's then when another being flies into view of him. A being who phases into view right in front of him. Martian Manhunter. There are many more heroes than just Superman and his family, the Martian Manhunter tells Piccolo. Piccolo is just shocked to see this person in front of him. And it's a tease for a potential sequel, exploring not just the Superman universe, but the DC universe as a whole. So Superman and Goku fly up during the battle, and it's there where they find Piccolo and John. Goku admits that this is his limit. He can't really breathe in space. Clark raises an eyebrow, and he says, "Oh really?" He flies up, and Goku can't actually follow him. Goku says, "Hey, no fair, that doesn't count as a win." But Superman laughs, saying, "It counts as a win in my book." And he finds Goku pretty fun, honestly. So, technically, this would be Superman beating Goku. But I don't think it's anything serious. And we don't want to actually say who's stronger, because that would just end debates. You know, and that's fun. Just as Goku is about to hold his breath and go fight Superman for as short of a time as he can in space, Piccolo grabs Goku. He says, "It's time to go home, Goku." So Piccolo drags Goku back down to the others, and Superman joins them. So the Dragon Team waves goodbye to the Superman family as Whis teleports them back to their universe. And that's where we'll end the story for now. The last page or end credits can be a montage of the characters we paired up exploring Metropolis, and just hanging out. Even taking down some villains together. So the first third of this story is about the characters having their fan service, meeting up, having quick fights with each other, but they're all still people who would be friends at the end and set up a familiarity with them. All to set up Chapter 2, where the Dragon Ball characters can explore all of the DC universe, meeting up everyone they can. You know, popular characters like Batman and Wonder Woman. So if you'd like to see that, subscribe for Part 2 and comment what heroes you'd like to make appearances in Part 2. Thanks for watching.